Hello and welcome to the Downtown Kentucky podcast. I'm Austin / Parfait.
And I'm Chris / Ox.
That's right, and we're back here with another podcast. It's, our podcast we do on Twitch. That's what this one is.
It is.
Normally, we cover news stories, weird news stories, which we do have one of today, but only one because the world is falling apart and the only stories aren't entertaining. They're just depressing.
Depressing?
So we're
Yeah.
not covering those. So today's going to be a little bit of a different episode, just like last week. Maybe next week we'll have a normal episode. Maybe. So today's first news story is a little bit of an update. A good story for once. One of the only good things that happened recently is the internet did their thing again. They complained and bullied a company into giving them what they wanted again. Much like Sonic before them, the internet has bullied, Hulu / Disney into paying John DiMaggio what he deserves. The petitions, the complaints, all the stuff, it worked, and now John DiMaggio is coming back to the Futurama reboot as Bender. So, that's cool.
Nice.
The show wouldn't be the show without him. So,
Yeah.
I'm glad he's coming back. I don't know if the show needs to come back. As someone who's a fan of the show and watched it, it has like a perfect ending, but that's a whole different discussion for a different day.
Apparently it wasn't perfect enough.
Apparently.
It's
Well,
coming back.
Well, no, it was still perfect. The problem is they just want, Disney's like, hey, we own this
More
property. We want money. We want make reboot. And they're like, all right, we'll take money. And you know what? I respect the hustle. But as, the title of this video said, this episode isn't about news. This is Oops, All Tournament of Champions. That's right. This whole episode is going to be Tournament of Champions. We're going to do 2 episodes of Tournament of Champions in 1 episode of the Downtown Kentucky podcast. It's crazy. Right. It's never been done before. It might be done again if the news cycle continues to be the way it is. Maybe this is just the Tournament of Champions podcast. Who knows? I hope not. I really don't want that to be what this is. Not that I don't love Tournament of Champions. I just like the format we have.
Fair.
But today we're going to be doing Tournament of Champions twice, but what if this is someone's first time tuning in, Chris? What is Tournament of Champions?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Austin. The Tournament of Champions is a randomly seeded tournament-style
tournament
thing. Yeah, it's a tournament-style tournament. It's
single elimination.
Fight to
bracket. The death. We take characters from you name it, and as long as they have fighting ability, they are eligible to be in this. Anyone from Rocky Balboa to Thanos could be in this. None of them are in today's episodes even, but they could be here at some point. Those are 2 names that are on the list.
Here.
Rocky would almost definitely die against most of the people today. Let's talk about our first Tournament of Champions today, episode 4. Let's look at our bracket for the day. We have on the I almost said the left side, but no, it's bracketology. So this is on the West Coast. Bracket. We have from the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, the villain of it himself, Freddy Krueger, taking on Marvel's Black Cat from the Spider-Man fame.
Yeah. Whoa.
That's a fair fight.
Spooky.
And they're taking on Leonardo from the Ninja Turtles, who is taking on Dr. Robotnik from the Sonic franchise. Then on our East Coast bracket, we have Sheriff Hopper from Stranger Things taking on Pamela Voorhees from the, spoiler if you haven't seen it, the first Friday the 13th film.
Oh boy,
I'm
gonna have a real good time talking about that.
I'm excited about that one.
Fight.
I'm actually really excited about that one. And then we have the Demigorgon from Stranger Things taking on the Flash from DC and the Flash and Justice League and everything else he's done.
From the Flash and also the Flash.
But yeah, we gotta start with our first fight here, which We'll go over Black Cat's powers first because we actually have to flip a coin before we decide what Freddy's powers are.
Are
Because
you deciding if he's in the dreamscape or
because
if he's in the real world?
Like our classic, Neo from the Matrix, Freddy is practically unbeatable in the dream world. Like,
Yeah,
almost
he sure
unbeatable entirely. But outside of the dream world, he's just a dude with a couple powers. But yeah, so it depends on where he is, and we will find out. But first, let's go over Felicia Hardy, known as the Black Cat's powers. She has... I'm going to let you pronounce that word.
Psychokinesis.
Yes. Which, the Black Cat's original bad luck power is what that is, it looks like. And she also has claws as part of a cybernetic enhancement.
Huh.
She's also an expert thief, an Olympic-level athlete. She has reflexes, agility, and stamina of an Olympic-level acrobat even, and is capable of many exceptional feats. She is physically very strong and athletic and has great physical endurance. She's also a skilled martial artist, knowing Okinawa Goju Ryu Karate and Judo, which she specializes in. Her weaknesses are proximity to other probability manipulators.
So Domino?
I guess so, yeah. Probability even. That's what it was, but my brain couldn't figure out what word that was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now let's flip a coin. Give me 1 second while I get my coin ready. Chris is gonna steal the coin today, so there's no chance of this being, a lie. Obviously, heads is in the dream world, tails is in the real world. Let's flip the coin and see where it is. Oh, poor Black Cat. Because Freddy Krueger is in the dream world, which means he has the power of dream manipulation. In the dream realm, Freddy is practically a god with a seemingly omnipotent presence. He is fueled by children's fear, and he can do just about anything imaginable in his dream state. He can appear out of nowhere, change his size and shape, and completely change the architecture of the person's dream at will, usually in accordance with a person's personality and their hopes and fears. Dream slaying. Any injury Freddy inflicts on a person in the dream world are also inflicted upon them in the real world.
Yeah.
With the powers to manipulate dreams, however, he chooses, Freddy has been able to kill many of his victims in outlandish and bizarre ways. He also has psychic powers and soul consumption. And we're not going to talk about his weaknesses because they're all about him not being in the dream world. So yeah, ooh, buddy, she got the short end of that stick when we rolled in the dream world for him. So Freddy Krueger, 100%. Walks right out of this fight immediately. Yeah.
No competition on that one.
For characters like Freddy, and if we ever come across another character like Freddy or Neo in the past who didn't get a lucky roll and was out in round 1, we will re-roll them every round to see what realm they're in for their battle. But yeah, let's head on over to our next West Coast bracket. We have Leonardo from...
Ooh.
The Ninja Turtles, whose powers, abilities, and weaponry and skills. Sorry, this is a whole list of tons of stuff it could be. You got ninjutsu. Or, is that no? I feel
ninjutsu?
Like is it? I just feel like that's spelled differently than I've seen it in the past.
There's different ones.
Okay.
There's ninjutsu and ninjutsu.
Okay, well he has ninjutsu, so.
Taijutsu and.
All right.
Jujutsu and.
He has enhanced strength, enhanced speed, stealth. All right. He has a katana, his shell, a healing factor. His healing factor seems to work well in water, where he woke up after a villainous fight 3 months later, but the fight left him very injured. So he has a very slow healing factor in water.
In water.
So that doesn't seem like it
factor.
Will matter. He's very intelligent. He has stamina and endurance. And he does have... Okay, now he has a healing power. He was taught to use ninjutsu to heal himself and others using a special technique by Splinter. It was effective in removing venom that had no cure. So he does have a healing power. And and he is taking on Dr. Robotnik, who I will say, as we peek behind the curtain, we use a lot of fandom pages to like find out people's powers. I just want to not give the Sonic fandom any credit, because man, is their website annoying to read. It's just like a 6-paragraph dump of stuff, not broken down into like sections like the other stuff. He has an immense intellect. He has scientific power. His most well-known ability is a genius-level intellect. He's known to be the greatest super genius scientist and is a true genius with robotics.
Oh.
So really what it comes down to is he doesn't have any powers. He's just smart and can make robots.
Smart guy with
Which,
robots.
sure, hypothetically speaking, he probably prepared and has a couple robots to help him. But those robots are taken out by just, Sonic, who is pretty fast, but when he's in the games, he's not actually as fast, and he just takes out these robots like they're nothing by just jumping on their head. So I feel like a skilled fighter like Leonardo would be able to take down said meaningless drone robots, and then Dr. Robotnik has no actual protection when you get to him, it seems.
Yeah, definitely the way it seems.
So unless you have some knowledge about Dr. Robotnik that I don't, and I could read another 5 paragraphs on that, but I don't want to. And honestly, for that alone, I really just want to eliminate Robotnik. It really irritates me.
Fair. That is fair.
So
I would
really,
say go for it.
If you're a big Sonic fan and you're mad about this, you take it upon yourself to fix the Sonic fandom page on fandom, because it's disgusting.
No, just fix the Sonic fandom, please.
Just fix the Sonic fandom, because man, do they need help. But specifically the website, Sonic.fandom or whatever, because unlike most of the other .fandoms, which is where almost all the information we're using today comes from, it's set up in a way that's hard to read and annoying. So yeah, Leonardo wins. Solely because the Sonic fandom is the worst. Take that however you will.
Hey, hold on a minute.
All right, now we have, I think, the fight of the night. I am so excited to talk about this. We have Sheriff Hopper versus Pamela Voorhees. Sheriff Hopper from the Stranger Things franchise, and Pamela Voorhees from the first Friday the 13th movie, as well as, I guess, Ghost Pamela and a couple other movies, but not really. But yeah, so Jim Hopper. Jim Halper from The Office. His powers are being annoying. No, Jim Hopper. He is an expert combatant. He is an Army veteran and the present police chief.
He's the priest and the police chief.
He is a priest, and he is also highly trained in hand-to-hand combat and rosaries, because he's a priest. None of that's true. He's an Army vet and he's a police chief. He's an expert marksman with his Army veteranness and police chiefness. He has a noteworthy for his experience with a variety of firearms, ranging from handguns, shotguns, and rifles. While he mostly carried his revolver around with him during investigations and settling minor disputes, he was shown to be remarkably proficient in handling rifles and shotguns when he fought side by side with Eleven. Okay. He also has survival instincts.
Oh, no one's ever had
Only
those.
basic survival instincts, though, after you go further into the description here. His basic surviving skills helped him with, when he was trapped in the tunnels in the Upside Down. He's a skilled craftsman. He really likes working with wood in his, garage. Sorry. His military...
He made tripwires to fight the pollywog, I guess.
All right. And he knows Morse code.
And he's got a Smith & Wesson Model 66
He also
revolver,
has...
and has been once seen using an MP5K submachine gun.
He's also got a Colt Python.
In
which he used in one episode. He has a lot of guns. Really, these are just all different names of guns. He has guns. He knows how to use guns. Which, honestly, is pretty useful, because Pamela Voorhees is just a chick. Like, she's a chick that's they, does things that really she shouldn't be able to off screen. But when she's
Yeah.
on screen, she's just, a girl who knows, her way around, knives and whatnot, and never bring a knife to a gunfight.
Yeah.
If a young teenage girl can chop off her head, spoiler for the first movie, I think Sheriff Hopper can shoot her in the head.
Yeah.
I mean,
fair. Pamela Voorhees, who, depending on if you can see her or not, is capable of lifting a young man and pinning him to the door.
Yes.
With arrows.
But,
or if she's seen by a human, will get knocked onto her butt by being hit once with like a fire poker.
Yeah.
In the arm.
Should we flip a coin to see if she's on screen or not?
Yeah.
All right. To be fair,
she's on screen because we see her.
Yeah, let's see. Head's on screen. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's tails. She's off screen. Which does give her a lot more strength, but I don't think it gives her more strength than like a Demogorgon and Demodogs and stuff that he has fought. I actually do think Sheriff Hopper still wins this.
I think Sheriff Hopper still wins, but it's a little.
But it is a lot closer now. Pamela Voorhees had no chance if it was on screen. So this fight, you actually didn't see this fight at all. But Sheriff Hopper does come back somehow. Yeah. He does come back off screen.
Sheriff Hopper shoots her in the head off screen.
Yeah, because
then we just pan to Pamela Voorhees' like body, lifeless. Because
it's the MPAA has cracked down on this movie, so we couldn't actually show it on screen.
This is Friday the 13th, but if it was the fifth one. But if it was the first one.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
If this is only for people who also listen to our horror movie podcast or just love horror movies, which is not our audience for this show.
No.
And I'll little peek behind the curtain. Pamela Voorhees wasn't actually on the list until today. I didn't like the person who was on the list, so I just took them off and was like, I should put Pamela Voorhees on here.
Oh, you only put one F for Sheriff Hopper. He's currently
Sheriff I'm just glad I didn't do 2 R's and 1 F, because I do that a lot. I forget which one's which and do it wrong. But yeah, Sheriff Hopper does move on. Will he have a chance to fight the Demogorgon in the next round? No. I mean, let's find out.
No.
Let's find out with Sheriff Hopper who he's fighting. Because the Demogorgon, they have interdimensional travel. They can travel into
specifically little portals that they make.
But they can make, hypothetically, they can make those to escape to the Upside Down if they're losing for a second and maybe get the jump on them. That's something they could use, hypothetically. They have superhuman strength.
Right.
They have superhuman durability. Honestly, if you really actually, now I think about it, I think the Demogorgon really only ever gets taken out by 11 in their franchise.
Yeah.
The Demogorgon also has telekinesis.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Some form of a telekinetic power. It was able to unlock a door. It has blood detection because it's strongly attacked. It's very much like a shark. It loves the smell of blood, it seems. And it also has a regenerative healing factor. After being trapped inside on fire, the Demogorgon appeared to have healed most of its injuries after a short period of time.
And then we have the Flash.
And I'm just going to read this first word right here. Speed Force, which honestly is one of the most annoying things in comics, because it literally will do whatever they need it to pretty much throughout the series. He has superhuman speed.
Convenient
he can go back in time. He can regenerate his healing factor. He has an accelerated metabolism. Superhuman reflexes. Extreme force generation. Accelerated perception. Momentum negation.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he can just stop before that being okay.
Yeah,
superhuman
he can
agility.
Stop from running really fast.
Yeah, superhuman stamina. Superhuman durability. Intangibility. He can phase himself through solid objects by vibrating his molecules at super speed.
Yeah.
Molecular oscillation. Flash can break glass by using vibration. That actually sounds a lot cooler when you read it as the scientific name. But then you find out what it is, and you're like, that's lame. All right. He can also travel between dimensions. He has interdimensional travel as well.
Whoopsies. The coolest power the Demogorgon had.
Time travel and chronokinesis.
Oh,
Time
dang.
regression. Flash can rewind time if he feels like he's losing the fight. Electricity generation. And that's just his powers. Then he has abilities. We're not even going to talk about those right now.
Genius level intellect.
Expert
To
engineer.
top off.
He's also bilingual. Come on. He knows English and sign language, including gorilla sign language. He's also a skilled combatant.
I think he's like the second best detective to Batman in the DC universe.
I think it depends on where you are with him, I feel like. But we'll even ignore that. It doesn't matter. Because this is a fight to the death.
He's got insane powers.
Yeah. Realistically, this is a fight to the death, and his intellect probably isn't going to come into discussion because he's so superhuman, and the Demogorgon is just a, practically mindless creature. Not fully. There's definitely...
It's basically just an animal.
Yeah.
An animal with superpowers, kind of.
But yeah, so the Flash, he wins because the Flash is kind of broken.
Yeah, he's kind of crazy.
All speedsters, can get annoying. The Flash has that added Speed Force from DC, which makes him be able to do even more stupid things.
Magic speed.
Yeah. So that is our first round of our first
speed.
episode today. So let's move on to our semifinals. We have Freddy Krueger taking on Leonardo, and we need to roll to see, or not roll. It's not a dice. It's a
flip that die.
Flip that coin, even.
Flip the coin, even.
Yeah,
roll
once
the
again,
coin.
Heads is the dream world. Tails is not. And he's in the dream world. Ooh, don't need to talk about those negative things again. Yeah.
Bye, Leonardo.
So Leonardo loses. Ooh, would you look at that? Oh, so sad. We already went over their powers. I don't really feel a need to go over it again. But Leonardo, he's a skilled combatant. But they're in the dream world. And Freddy Krueger is practically unbeatable in the dream world. And we rolled to see them in the dream world, which means Leonardo sadly did not coax him out of the dream world where he could actually kill him. Yeah. So Freddy Krueger. Oh, got the. All right, now we have Sheriff Hopper taking on the Flash, and it's time for my favorite segment within a segment. Well, if you're a first-time viewer and you're like, why is Austin getting excited about such a weird fight to get excited for? Well, we have this thing during every episode of Tournament of Champions where I'm a big fan of debate in debate clubs. And sometimes in debate club, you have to debate things that, you might not personally agree with, but, you have to find the logical reason for it to happen and fight for that side. And Chris, today, you're fighting on the side of Sheriff Hopper. Please tell me a scenario where he beats the Flash.
So, Sheriff Hopper has experience fighting interdimensional traveling creatures, and so he
doesn't really fight them. He kind of just runs away until his 11 does it.
He uses that knowledge, and he takes the Flash into a giant shaft underground to blow up the traveling portal.
Oh, okay. What if
to seal the Flash away inside the? Oh wait, no, that's for the Demogorgon specifically.
Also, even if he did set off that explosion down there and got away himself, the Flash would just run so fast past the explosion because he's got super speed, or he'd go back in time and make it never happen. One of the two. It depends on his mood.
No, but you don't understand, Austin. The Sheriff Hopper has a revolver.
Oh, which as
has
he
the
shoots,
Flash has he ever been shot before?
Oh, let me look up if the Flash has ever been shot by a revolver.
I don't know if he's ever seen a revolver before.
Has the Flash
it's a pretty uncommon gun
been shot by a revolver?
PBS.
There's no answers.
Thank you.
There's no answers. Right. I guess he's never been shot by a revolver. I mean, you've raised a solid point. He's never been shot by the revolver, so he actually does take the revolver shot. He doesn't die though because of his, extreme, ability to not die. He has a really good, healing factor. It hurts him, but he's kind of phases his hand through his body, pulls out the bullet, and then it heals over a little bit of time.
Wait,
but
you mean he can phase?
Oh,
you mean he didn't phase to just let the bullet pass through him?
He's never seen a revolver before. We just proved that with our advanced research of Googling, has the Flash been shot by a revolver? And it came back, there was no answers. So I'm assuming he's never seen a revolver to help your argument. So he got shot, but he pulls out the bullet relatively with no problem at all. Then he gets over to Sheriff Hopper in nanoseconds. And you know what? Even though the Flash would never do this in real life, but, this is a fight to the death and he has to. He uses that same cool phasing power and pulls out Sheriff Harper's still beating heart and makes him look at it before he dies.
But he hasn't seen a revolver.
He hadn't seen a revolver. That did almost get him, slightly, it tickled a little bit.
I think it stung a little bit.
Well, now it's time for the final flip of the day. Will this be a fair fight? We will find out. Heads for the dream world, tails for the real world. Freddy is lucky, baby, because he is keeping himself in that dream world where he is a god, which means he probably just turns himself basically into the Flash in this dream and now has all of his powers in this dream world. And also, it's a dream, so he makes the Flash not have his powers. Or catches him in quicksand. Or who knows what. Thankfully for the flip, Freddy Krueger, I think, is our Tournament of Champions Season 2, Episode 4 champion. Unless you have an opinion otherwise. I think once this was in the dream world, I think Freddy had it.
Yeah.
He's broken in the dream world. I get that. But, the coin, he had a 50-50 chance every round to not be broken. And be really easy to beat. But all these characters, they didn't have the, the fortitude and the willpower of a teenage girl like in the first movie. You know what? If you don't like it and you're like, well, that's not fair. The Flash is super powerful. He just would have not fallen asleep. Well, I flipped the coin and it said he was in the dream world, so he did fall asleep. Yeah. So, Freddy Krueger wins. And if you don't like it, tough tiddlywinks. Get over yourself. I don't care.
Tune in to, the Tournament of Champions when we find out that
Freddy Krueger immediately...
He can't get anyone to fall asleep.
Yeah, he immediately rolls a knot, and he's like, no, please, Scarlet Witch, don't! Honestly, Scarlet Witch is so powerful, I might still give her the edge in the dream world. But
yeah,
we'll have to decide that we'll have to see what happens, if he's even in the dream world. Knowing random luck, he won't be, and he'll lose to, like, whoever barely scooted by because they had a crappy, day. Like, I don't know who that is, but they'll be like, wait, what? They made it to the finals? And, they beat Freddy in round 1? Crap.
What? It was Hancock?
I don't think he's in, because I didn't remember his movie existed. Let's switch back here while I do some behind-the-scenes closing of a tab. So it's nice, a smooth transition. Normally this would be after Tournament of Champions, this would be on the podcast, but this isn't a normal episode, baby. Today is all Tournament of Champions, so we have a whole nother tournament to do.
That's right.
Are you ready for this, Chris?
Maybe.
All right. Well, let's find out who is in our Tournament of Champions in episode 5 of Tournament of Champions. Oh, well, look at this. We have on our West Coast bracket from the Tekken franchise, Devil Jin, which is the devil form of Jin. Crazy, right?
I know who that is.
I do too. But for people who don't know, he is a character called Jin.
Devil Jin,
and this is his devil form. He is a fighting game character.
Yeah.
He is taking on the Predator. Which one? I don't know. There's technically been hundreds of them, but he's a Predator from the Predator franchise.
Species of aliens. Yeah.
Honestly, he's probably going to be a slightly unrealistic Predator in the sense of when I look up Predator powers, it's going to probably list everyone ever, and technically some of them have different equipment.
Yeah.
So he's probably going to be the greatest Predator ever, basically. But hey, he's from Predator and, Alien versus Predator. Requiem.
The Uber Predator.
AVP 2. But they're taking... Then we have our second round 1 match. We have DC's Teen Titans Starfire taking on Dexter.
Of Dexter's Laboratory?
No. To be fair, I couldn't find any actual...
serial killer?
Yeah, the serial killer. I couldn't actually find any actual, like, powers whatsoever for Dexter, and I couldn't remember which one it was supposed to be. And I've watched Dexter, the serial killer, more, and knowing and not having powers for Dexter's Lab character, because I don't know if he ever fought anything. Also, I don't know, I haven't watched a lot of Dexter's Lab, but I couldn't find a lot of information on him skill-wise in that sense, other than just... So, no, this is Dexter the serial killer from Dexter, the show. Who, could have had a great run in a round where he wasn't fighting a alien. Him against Pamela Voorhees?
Maybe.
Jim Hopper? Maybe. But that's not what we're talking about. Let's talk about also on our East Coast bracket, we have Duke Nukem from the Duke Nukem franchise.
He's Duke Nukem. Time to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crude humor now.
Yeah.
Haha, pee and poop and boobs. And he's taking on...
Missing in the toilet restores my health.
And he's taking on Pinhead from Hellraiser.
Oh, yeah. That's unfortunate for Duke Nukem.
We'll get to that later. Spoiler alert, that might be one of my favorite segments of the week. Then our last round 1 matchup for the East Coast bracket, we have a Wither skeleton. We saw the full form of the Wither before, but today we have just the skeleton form, and they're taking on Crash Nebula. That's from Minecraft, by the way, with the Wither. If you don't know what we're talking about, it's from Minecraft.
A skeleton, but it's a withering skeleton.
Yeah. And they're taking on Crash Nebula, who is a fictional character within the world of Fairly Odd Parents. They are a fictional character in that world. They are a superhero that Timmy Turner is into. But not the more popular one, the Crimson Chin. He'll come in at a different point in the series. In our series. But yeah, it's Crash Nebula, who, honestly, I thought I remembered having a lot more powers. And he might, but the internet doesn't know about him. He only has a couple. We'll get to that when we get to that. Let's head on over to our first round matchup. We have Devil Jin taking on the Predator. Devil Jin is a powerful demon with supernatural powers and he's an awesome fighter with great strength that is a force to be reckoned with. His fighting style is an updated version of Jin's Tekken 3 and Tekken Tag tournament style. Thus switching back to
let's get to his power and abilities.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing is, the other thing. Remember how I said Sonic sucks? The Tekken fan base also kind of sucks. Street Fighter gave me a great powers and listing for their people. The Devil Jin section isn't great.
Okay, so he's got...
he's well-rounded and varied. He has a powerful force. It doesn't mean that anyone who picks him is good, though. The problem is this one's not written about the character. It's written about, like, playing them as a fighting game character, which, disappointed. So, I don't know what his powers are, because I tried.
Let me look.
I've looked up multiple things and couldn't find anything, really. You would think there would be. Let's see if I can find Jin's powers. Because, to be fair, Devil Jin's pretty much just, Jin from number 3. Well.
Okay.
I guess I need to throw the word Tekken in there. Alright. Flight. Okay, let's see character profile for just Jin. Now I have powers and abilities for him. Okay, fine. So he's Devil Jin, though. So he's slightly different, I guess. He's a martial arts expert, including karate, a different type of karate. He has multiple types of karate, which have crazy things like dragon uppercuts, electric wind god fist, which just sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool move.
He has a spinning demon. He has traditional karate as well. These are all those other karates he had he has tons of different types of karate. Electricity manipulation, fire manipulation, a devil gene. Due to the curse that was laid upon him, Jin is now capable of using demonic powers. Even without transformation into Devil Jin, he's capable of shooting laser beams.
Yeah.
He has a healing factor. Wounds that would normally kill a human, such as getting shot in the brain he lived from.
So he can get shot in the brain and live. Cool, we know
He has
that.
force field projection and mind control resistance.
Yes.
Cool. Oh, alternate form, Devil Jin. Forget all that stuff I said. I mean, I think most of them are still there, but he has flight, lasers, teleportation, telekinesis, energy absorption, soul detection, penetrating fist. Okay. Which is a
Uses his
fireball.
wings to form 2 flying sidekicks. Yeah, who cares?
But also, I also love that penetrating fist is a fireball. Okay. Sure. Laser cannon, wings. He can do flying sidekicks with his wings. He has laser cannons. He has a devil laser cannon and a regular laser cannon. Obliteration. He grabs his opponent and tosses him
just being
down.
attacked with lasers a whole
And
bunch.
he juggles them with the lasers. Classic fighting game.
You weren't. And he goes. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, just like that.
All right. Yeah. So there's his powers.
He's like Superman, but if Superman was wings instead of just
Basically.
the innate ability to fly,
Yeah.
and also heal, sort of.
I feel like I don't know. I don't know if he's
And
quite
slightly less OP.
I don't think he's quite Superman levels unbeatable.
No.
Because once again, he's a fighting game character, which means he's weirdly balanced in the sense of a guy who just knows like kicking can beat him. It's that fun weird thing.
Well, he can, beat him in a fight into submission, but you can't kill him. He can get shot in the brain and live.
That's true.
So I don't think getting punched a whole bunch is going to do anything.
That's fair. Well, the Predator, he has enhanced strength. They're incredibly strong, easily capable of outmatching a conditioned adult male.
That's unfortunate. Well, Jin's a little bit more than just conditioned.
Yeah. Enhanced speed. They can move faster than humans' eyes can follow, and they can keep up with xenomorphs, which can move too quickly to be recorded by advanced camera systems. So he's really fast. And he can casually keep pace with a speeding car. So we're talking at least, 60 miles an hour. But also
too fast to be seen by the human eye.
Yeah. I know. But it's just funny that they go, like, he's faster than the human eye. He's, faster than even, like, advanced computers, like cameras. Also, he can go 60 miles an hour. That thing is way slower than those other things they just said.
Well, it says casually keep pace.
Oh, okay, that's true. Enhanced durability. They are highly resilient to physical damage, capable of recovering from multiple gunshot wounds with minimal or even no medical attention. They can also survive radiation. They have a hunting skill, and they're master combatants. They're very intelligent. They have a code of honor. Despite the ferocity and brutality with which predators hunt and kill their prey, they seemingly adhere to a code of honor. This code of honor strictly forbids them from killing children, unarmed adults, or the elderly. Should a target challenge a predator to a fair hand-to-hand fight, the predator will often abide and strip themselves of any advanced technologies. Wow.
That's unfortunate for the predator, because Jin doesn't have any weapons. So
No.
it looks like they're doing a hand-to-hand
No,
fight.
that's not. Because then he can't use his powers. He can't use any of his magic, because that would count as the same. The predator is in a world with magic, but I'm not willing to let that be the way the fight goes. We can debate on who wins, and I honestly think it's probably Jin no matter what. But no,
Yeah.
I am not saying that the predator doesn't get to use his weapons. But then that would just be, to be fair, that would be him going up against a karate master, which would still maybe make him lose. But Jin would have to make sure to never use any of his magic karate if it was a hand-to-hand fight. Magic isn't hand-to-hand. That's using magic. That's his weaponry. I mean, his weaponry is magic because that's his character. I mean, nah. But it doesn't. I don't think it matters because Jin wins no matter.
Hand-to-hand.
Huh? What'd you say?
I said it's a fighting game. They all bring just their hand in hand.
But
some people have a little bit more enhanced ability.
No, but the magic. But I don't think the predator would say that was. I don't think that's fair at all. Like in the sense of like what we're doing.
The predator would know. It's not like Devil Jin has morals.
But we, as the people who are controlling this fight, would say that's not what's happening. Because I don't agree. I think that those are powers, therefore they are equal to weaponry.
Yeah, whatever. Devil Jin definitely still wins.
Oh, he still wins, I think, no matter what way you cut it. But the way you're trying to be like, oh, well, if he just uses all his magic, well, Predator's just there. No. Because that's not... It goes against... No, I don't know. I agree. Devil Jin's moving on.
Predator's got a code of honor. I don't know.
Yeah, but if he... No, but also the Predator knows a lot about the things he follows. Like he does with, like... He's a master hunter. He learns about the thing before his fight. Before he comes to hunt them. He would know that Jin has these magical powers. And if Jin's... He would not assume... He would assume... Maybe even assume that Jin has weaponry for the... He would know enough to not just say, oh, yeah, you can use your magic and I'll just stand here and let you kill me. He loses, but not the way you're trying to make him lose in this, like... No, his
Tekken
arms...
style,
yeah, his arms tied behind his
fight.
back while he gets, anime killed.
Well, it's not his arms tied behind his back.
You're taking away even his weaponry just to make it so Devil Jin destroys him. In like 2 seconds. No, this fight goes a solid 5 minutes before Devil Jin destroys him. Let's move on to another super one-sided fight.
Yeah, there's no...
We have Starfire, whose powers are flight, bright
Yeah.
green... Bright green?
Yeah, a nice Ugrichi. Bright green energy projection is the green. Produce the
bright
green.
green energy spheres, energy
Oh,
explosions, self-sustenance. Okay. I didn't realize... Oh, okay. I was thinking like food.
As was I.
But no, it's she can survive in the vacuum of space. She doesn't get cold and stuff like that.
Mm.
No protection, no protective gear. She doesn't need to breathe, things like that. She's invulnerable.
Yep.
And moderate invulnerability to physical harm, heat, cold, and radiation.
Mm-hmm.
When Robin smacked her with his staff, it completely shattered into smithereens. She has superhuman strength. She has language assimilation, accelerating healing factor, immense agility. I almost said aging. I was like, immense aging. Yes. Immense agility. Exceptional fighting and combat skills. Her weaknesses include... She's allergic to metallic chromium.
Oh.
Her powers are based on her emotions, so when she's emotionally confused, she can't fly. Her powers are more likely to not work properly.
Mm.
Starfire isn't affected by the cold. However, Starfire does shiver when it snows.
I think that was just a fun fact.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think that counts as a weakness.
And then, so Dexter, he...
Is a serial killer.
He's in his life, he's broken and entered, stalked, he's committed arson, destruction of private property, abduction, unlawful imprisonment and detainment, assault and battery, unlawful possession of tranquilizers and other knockout drugs, interfering with police investigations, burglary and Grand Theft Auto. Where's the murder? Oh, okay. Besides murder.
Besides murder.
I just feel like it's really weird to go, he's done all these things. He's also a murderer. Would we forget to mention that? Yeah, he's a serial killer, but a normal human serial killer who...
And he gets obliterated.
Who's also, like... Even, like, there's ways you could try to say, like, oh, maybe some really smart human... Or, like... I don't think Dexter would have the thought to try to get her emotional. There might be like geniuses who might be able to like learn her weaknesses before going into the fight, who maybe could try to get her emotional to try to even it up. It doesn't feel like what Dexter would do, which is why yes, Dexter would try to kill her. Well, yeah,
he also only kills serial killers.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
unless it like interferes with his,
which I would argue being thrown into this tournament of death would count as that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of characters. Here's the thing: Starfire also doesn't kill. So I mean, if we go off if a character would kill, then yeah, they would.
I think the only chance he would ever have would be like abducting Robin. Even.
Which he would probably be willing to do.
Yeah. But even then, I think that would just make her angry. And
then that would maybe make her not be able to like use her like flight or maybe her energy power and stuff like that. But she still have the invulnerability, which what's he gonna do then?
Yeah, I think Dexter dies.
Yeah, Dexter dies, but
Pretty handily.
But I
either
do
way.
think maybe he killed Robin before he died, just to try to get under her skin. Maybe, who knows?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. Moving on to my favorite segment of the week. Again, weird to do it twice. But we have Duke Nukem, who has
The power to heal by peeing.
he's 6'4" and able to bench press at least 600 pounds.
He's jacked.
He's strong enough to overpower many inhuman enemies, including
He's King
Dukinators
Duke,
and
baby.
mutant pig cops.
Yeah.
His mighty boot attack from Duke Nukem Forever has been shown to decapitate enemies. And he can rip off the heads of alien bodies using brute strength alone. He is even tough enough to track...
Inhumanly strong.
Yeah, like really, really humanly strong. He also has, pistols, rocket launchers, shrink rays, alien weaponry. But the problem is he's going up against Pinhead, who, Pinhead's powers are vast and far beyond any human's ability to withstand. While working for Leviathan, he was invulnerable, ageless, and immortal, capable of teleportation, magically disguising himself as other people and transforming humans into Cenobites. He could also summon other hellish forces and conjure hooked chains out of the air to tear his victims apart. Perhaps Pinhead's greatest ability was his talent for deception and manipulation, as he often tempted others into doing his bidding with promising of fulfilling their darkest desires and fantasies. He retained many of these abilities even after severing his links to both his mortal self and thus Leviathan. Pinhead's only real weakness lies within the same object used to summon him, the Lament configuration. The box can be used to banish him to hell. The way this goes, I'm not gonna make you argue it. It's not worth it. I would say, like we just read there are characters out there who could be smart enough to grab that box and maybe send him back to hell, and I'd count that as killing him.
Duke Nukem is an expert at...
Duke Nukem is an idiot.
The one where you match the colors together in a cube, and it's
Rubik's
called
Cube.
a Rubik's Cube.
I don't think the thing is Duke Nukem wouldn't be a master of a Rubik's Cube because Duke Nukem is an idiot. He's portrayed as stupid from what I remember from the series.
Duke Nukem is the ultimate himbo.
Yeah.
Really jacked and really dumb.
Sorry to no one, because there's really not even Duke Nukem fans. That's why Duke Nukem Forever failed.
Oh, I'm kind of a Duke Nukem fan. I'm a fan of making fun of Duke Nukem.
See, that's not being a fan of Duke Nukem, then.
I gotta send you some videos after this.
Okay, fine, whatever. That's not important right now. But now, yeah, Pinhead, he easily moves on. Now we have a Wither skeleton from Minecraft taking on Crash Nebula.
I know all about weather skeletons. I don't know anything about Crash Nebula.
Want for our audience, they might not know about Wither skeletons, so I'm going to read some of their powers. Gosh, Chris. The Wither has a stone sword.
Let me, as the resident Minecrafter, expert, because we are both Minecrafters. Tune in tomorrow for that. Shameless plug.
Yeah.
They have stone swords, which do a solid half a heart of damage. And if you get hit by that stone sword, you are applied withering status, which slowly drains your health over about a 3-second period.
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels longer whenever it happens, but you're probably right. It's only 2 seconds.
Yeah, it definitely feels longer. They've got natural fire resistance, so you cannot kill them by dropping them into lava. They've also got poison resistance.
Fair.
They can also ride on horses, which I actually did not know.
Never seen that happen. I don't know where that's from.
Well, they're incredibly rare, and apparently are unspawnable mobs under the right settings.
Okay.
And they also have bow and arrows sometimes.
Very rarely.
Their weaknesses are splash potion of instant healing.
Huh.
They take damage from healing potions.
Didn't know that either. Feel stupid.
You can also drown them somehow because they have lungs.
I guess if you get them to spawn in the overworld, you would be able to. Because if they're in the nether, you can't have water.
Yeah.
Alright, and then we have Crash Nebula, who, not a lot about him.
He's got paraphernalia.
He has paraphernalia, which is a super suit, which gives Crash super strength and allows him to fly. And that's it. He has no powers on his own, it's just a suit. Though it is implied that he will gain basic space cadet training, he's fairly unskilled in the story, at least the way of a space cadet. In addition, he also has a lot of farming experience and knows a lot about manure.
You know what? I do recall that.
Yeah, he's actually not a great space cadet,
that.
but he is. He does have a spacesuit that gives him super strength and the ability to fly,
Which I think might take the Wither Skeleton.
Yeah, because it's not that hard to kill a Wither Skeleton.
Nah, I've done it a lot.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Crash Nebula, like we just said, he's got farming experience. You know what that means? That boy drinks milk. He brought milk with him. He's not even gonna get withered.
Oh, let's go. He brought buckets of milk, baby.
Yeah.
Crash Nebula takes a Wither Skeleton.
Yep.
Oh, who'd have
because
thought?
he's got the. I think. Here's the thing. He probably would have got it anyway. But I think the definite thing that pushes him over the edge is the fact that his character literally knows about farming. So if he's in this world where a Wither Skeleton exists, he would know to bring milk with him.
Oh, this next fight.
Devil Jin versus Starfire. Yes, this fight is going to be, or at least one-sided fight in this bracket.
I would say so.
We have Devil Jin, who we've went over his powers before. There's a lot of them. And Starfire also has pretty much the same powers.
She's got very similar powers, yeah.
Which means, I think
what's her level of accelerated healing powers, actually?
She's invulnerable.
Well, only nearly invulnerable. Moderate invulnerability.
Yeah, but like we're talking about like things like that normally would like.
What's her accelerated healing factor?
After being smashed into a car, she cracked her neck to rid the pain in her back.
Okay, well, not quite as severe as being shot in the brain, but
we don't know though, because she's been shot by like lasers and all this stuff, and I mean like all the characters, they don't ever get hurt because it's a kids cartoon.
Yeah.
I personally feel like this is the first appearance, not the first appearance for this episode because we used it for a completely different reason. But I think this is the
coin for deciding
who should.
And you know what?
On.
I really don't know who should, so
okay.
Let's just assign people aside and flip it.
Who's who? How can I make this she's heads because of that episode where she has like that weird sickness that makes her head grow that like tube.
Oh, I was just gonna go with he's tails because he's like evil-ish.
Okay.
And she's heads because she's good.
All right. Well, here's the thing. We both wanted the same thing, so I don't think the reasoning matters. Yep. All right. Here we go.
And
Devil Jin wins.
Devil Jin. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Don't think it's gonna matter, honestly.
No, it's not. No.
But before we get to that, let's do our last semifinal of the day. We have Pinhead versus Farmstrong, Crash Nebula.
He knows about crap.
And
literally.
He is going to be very easily manipulated and also get ripped by chains.
Yeah, ripped to pieces. Well, I think he probably rips the suit off of him first, and then rips him to pieces. Yeah. So Pinhead wins.
Because also, even we didn't talk about it today, but we talked about it previous time in season 0 where Pinhead was around. Pinhead also, I didn't see it here, but he's also a masochist or a sadist. Which one's which?
I think he's a sadomasochist.
He's a sadomasochist. But either way, he likes pain. So even if you do hurt him a little bit, that's not going to stop him, really.
No.
Yeah, so yeah. Ooh, yeah. Pinhead wins. Now we have Pinhead, who literally has, an agreement with an actual devil in Leviathan, taking on Devil Jin, who has, generic devil powers, which I don't think there's ever, a specific devil he's connected to in the lore, from what I remember.
I don't think there is either.
But yeah.
Not that I know of.
I think it really comes down to that pesky literal god status of Pinhead.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna take a god to beat Pinhead. We have godlike people. I would argue Freddy Krueger is godlike. I would argue she's never treated as a god, but she might as well be in Scarlet Witch is godlike in her power set. I do think that there might be people who might have a chance of beating Pinhead, but Devil Jin...
And it is not Devil Jin.
...is not one of them. If you are a big Tekken fan... Really? I mean, like, Tekken's fun and all, but, like, you're a big fan? That's weird. Yeah. But alright, to each their own.
The fighting game fans are a dedicated few.
They are very dedicated. But this has been our podcast. It's been... this has been Oops All Tournament Champions. Will we have more Oops All Tournament Champions? Yeah, probably, because the world is falling apart, and it's not fun to make fun of. It just actually sucks. But if you are here on Twitch, we're not going to be gone for long. We will be right back with some awesome robots gameplay, throwback gameplay, old school games, baby. But if you're a YouTube viewer, that video will come out later than the week for you, but we have to bid you adieu. So we'll have to bid all of you adieu, but we'll be right back for Twitch. But
yeah,
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye in a little bit. I forgot to have my hand over here, so this is all still here. So for real though now, bye-bye.
Okay, bye again.